Hey guys, welcome back to CLOWNFISH TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Funimation and Crunchyroll, the animation industry, and concerns that people have that the animation industry is going to bend the knee, I guess, to Hollywood sensibilities, because Funimation, which historically has just been, a provider of English dubs, is now involved in the actual creation of the anime series.
Well, if you can't beat them, control them.
That's what's going on. We've been talking about this for about 2 years now.
Yep.
Come to think of it, where we've switched from, and again, this is just how the economy is changing with streaming services and everything, but we've switched from these companies just importing Japanese anime to actually having a hand in the production of series. Now, where it becomes a potential problem is that we're seeing more and more evidence that a lot of the people working at Funimation, and to a lesser extent Crunchyroll and Viz, are censorship happy. Mm-hmm. They're trying to change the translations to suit Western sensibilities current year. That's making a lot of fans upset, and there is a huge concern now that Funimation is going to basically drive the train at this point and be like, you're gonna make these shows this way.
Well, we saw this kind of with Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
Because we had the cousins.
Yeah, the cousins, yeah.
Yeah, so we saw this previously.
I mean, this has always kind of been a thing, but in that case, the original Japanese version existed. People could go out and get it. And, there have always been, like, really lame censorship issues with
now
anime.
They're trying to correct it from the beginning, so there's no other version of it.
Right. Why are they doing this? The short answer.
Control.
It's control. It's also Hollywood is looking at anime and manga, I believe, as the next superhero gold mine. They've already strip mined comic books.
Now they want to strip mine. Now they want to strip mine anime.
Yeah.
They're going to, and unlike where Sailor Moon, they want to insert every agenda they can possibly insert, I'm sure.
Right. And we've seen a lot of evidence that the people working over there, are like, let's clean this up, let's make it more sanitized, let's change problematic dialogue because it offends me. And now they're gonna go right to the source, Japan.
So the problematic dialogue never happens.
It never happens. We're gonna hop in the DeLorean and go back to 1955 and change everything to make it more to our liking. So this is coming from Bounding in the Comics. A lot of people are talking about it. I'm also going to talk about what's going on with Crunchyroll, that they basically obliterated the Viz streaming service overseas. Now it's all Crunchyroll.
Did they really?
Yes.
Oh.
But they might be in for a rude awakening themselves because WarnerMedia just hired a new CEO. And it's my understanding from animation industry insiders that this new CEO is being brought in to clean house.
Yep.
So
penny pinching a coming.
Penny pinching a coming. So Funimation featured on anime production committees for 3 titles.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so on March 12th, Funimation posted an entry to their official blog titled, "What does it mean to be an anime production committee?"
Oh, God. So they're going to be everything by committee now.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. Everything's being done by committee now.
Yeah,
we saw how well that worked.
Yes. What does it mean to be on an anime production committee in which the anime production company aimed to clear up some misconceptions about the specific roles and duties of a respective production committee? This is what they said. And here is, you can go out to Funimation's blog and you can see it for yourself.
There's Fruits Basket.
Yeah, Fruits Basket's actually pretty good.
Don't ruin it.
Don't ruin Fruits Basket.
I'll punch you.
So this is what Funimation says. Funimation that also dropped Interspecies Reviewers because apparently they didn't watch it before they tried to bring it over here. So let's talk about anime production committees and the roles they play in the process, because the more we learn about the anime we love, the more we can change it. I mean, support those who create it.
Support the ones who create it that we approve of.
Right.
That's what they're saying.
One misconception some have with anime is that the animation studio is responsible for producing everything related to an anime production, including home video releases and merchandise. For the vast majority, that's not true at all. Almost all anime productions today are financed by something called a production committee. This is true. You look at the logos even on your favorite anime, and you're going to see a whole bunch of partners because this shit's expensive.
But here's the thing. But usually it's just a money and financial. It's not, a story control committee.
Right.
It's usually a financed committee. It's not focused on the story and what should and shouldn't be in there.
Right. And a lot of times, historically, to the best of my understanding, when you would have a company like Funimation or some other company, look at like Netflix with Frederator and Castlevania, they kind of get together and then they outsource the studio or whatever. But historically, it was always like, yeah, let's pony up the money. Let's adapt this manga into an anime. We're all going to throw some money into it because this stuff is expensive.
Yeah.
Anime is expensive to produce. People don't realize.
Well, even films are. You see a lot of times at the beginning of a film, there's like 5 different production companies.
It never used to be that way. It used to be that the studios had enough money, they would finance the movies themselves.
They're also only doing a few movies a year, and now they're trying to do umpteen movies a year.
Right. So Production Committee is a company specifically created to be a joint venture between a group of companies with dual goals of producing something entertaining that will also recoup its costs.
Right, it's about money, usually.
It's all about money.
Usually.
But the thing is you might get some people sneaking some stuff in there. In the past, a lot of television anime were funded primarily by the TV station and the lead animation studio, as anime gradually shifted away from airing during primetime viewing hours in Japan to late-night blocks for most titles. The Production Committee method became a common way to finance the creation of a show. Basically, people aren't watching it broadcast anymore. More streaming services like Netflix are coming in and all that. Funimation, of course, they've got their own streaming site, so they're putting their money in. They're going to have a say in how the stuff's produced.
I'm sorry. Funimation explains that they were invited to participate on these committees to help fund. They wanted their money, basically. Yeah. These productions directly, and details some ways in which Funimation can use their international expertise to better market the show to foreign viewers and provide more detailed input to other Japanese companies regarding what fans abroad would like to see, meaning what they would like to see.
Yeah, so this is where it becomes problematic. Conversely, Funimation is trusted by the rest of the community to use their international expertise. It's a win-win. It's a win-win for everybody because we're going to make sure that we tell them, and this is what's going on. This is why things have gotten weird in the last couple of years, because we've gotten American studios getting more and more financially involved in anime with the long-term goal of, I believe, bringing these things to Hollywood, making movies, making merchandise. But now they're going to start dictating the content. Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, for the vast majority of stuff, it's not going to be a problem because, I mean, the vast majority of anime is honestly pretty middle of the road. But that's not really the issue. The issue people are having is that they're taking, minor jokes that aren't really offensive, and they're trying to, Funimation has been changing dialogue to be more current year. So now,
current year meaning what they like, what they think is funny and okay.
Right. Now, there are two sides to this too. Like you said, this has been going on for a long time.
It has been.
Sailor Moon, this has been going on. There are other animes I can think of back in the 80s. I mean, you look at Robotech and they pretty much like rewrote the whole thing to fit.
Ghost Stories. Which is vastly superior in the American English version.
Ghost Stories is problematic now. There have been entire articles written about how problematic Ghost Stories is. Mm-hmm. And
I want to mention that Monica Rial was one of the people that was the voice actors that helped write Ghost Stories. I just find that vastly entertaining.
Yeah, she was she was one of the writers too.
The psychic one that ended up in the English version. She was the uber Christian.
Yeah.
I just found it funny that she played the girl and she made her uber Christian, mocking Christians, and Vic's Christian. I just thought that was kind of an odd.
Could there be a connection there?
I don't know. I mean,
Could there be a bias?
I thought it was odd. I thought that was an odd little thing.
I just think it's so weird. Like anime, before Hollywood got involved, and this is what happened with comic books too. Before Hollywood got involved, comics were kind of left to their own devices and whatever. And as soon as Hollywood got involved, they started bringing these Hollywood sensibilities, tried to recreate the industry in their image. And we saw it with gaming. As soon as you got these like Hollywood geeks involved in that scene, then they started to change the gaming scene, and they started to change comics. And now they're pushing into anime because that's where they think. The money is. Mm-hmm. So they're going to try to, make
They're going to try to do to anime what they did to gaming and comics.
Yes. Now.
Gaming pushed back.
Comics
are going to fail now.
Yeah, tabletop, I think, pretty much fell to these sensibilities.
Oh, yeah.
Video games, they've tried and they've gotten pushed
right,
out.
But comics have failed because of it. I'm sorry. Say what you will. They're failing, and a big part of it is because of that. They're going to head for anime next.
I had a friend of mine tell me one time, we had a conversation about all the stuff going on in pop culture, and he was like, gamers won. Gamers push back. We push back freaking hard because we're used to winning. That's the whole purpose of playing video games, is you freaking win. Mm-hmm. Comic books everybody was too mousy and too polite, and they didn't realize what was happening to their industry until it was too late.
No, it's not even about being mousy and polite. They all wanted the movie deals, and they figured if they played ball, they'd get them.
And they let Hollywood in, and they brought their Hollywood sensibilities.
Look how good that worked out for IDW.
Yeah, IDW is burning. They're burning down. Lion Forge is too. I'm going to talk about that in another video. But this is what's going on with anime. It's the same kinds of people, same group of people that want to change something to make it more palatable to Hollywood. There's not going to be much left of Hollywood by the time this thing blows through anyway. So people are, I think they're rightly concerned. I mean, do I think it's going to be that big of a deal? Maybe not at first.
It won't be at first. They'll have to do it gradually. As
there's more and more influence, I think that you're going to see some kinder, gentler, anime. And we're seeing this though too. And where I'm concerned is there has been an attack.
What? Oh my God.
An attack on anime in the last 2 years. Like, anime was left to its own devices for years. Nobody cared, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody cared what came and went. I mean, there's shit I'm not going to watch. There's some weird stuff out there, right? But anime was pretty much left alone until people started to smell money. Like, oh, anime is getting more popular again. Manga is more popular again. Therefore, we must make sure we attach ourselves to it. All kinds of crazy articles coming out the last couple of years. What we can learn about men through problematic anime. Mm-hmm. And this whole article goes on and on about how anime is problematic and toxic masculinity and blah, 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 blah. All men want are boobs to spank it to. That's basically the purpose. Because this is coming from the Good Men Project.
I know,
website.
I saw that, right? But we all act like women with penises.
We had this bullshit we had to deal with last year, Sci-Fi. Again, one of these, pop culture blogs that's kind of whispering in the ears of Hollywood.
This is where the writer actually went and talked about how her sensibility should be taken over to Japan and she should go over there and tell them what's what.
Yeah.
You read this article?
Yes. She had a problem with military uniforms. She thought that all characters wearing any kind of military uniform promoted fascism, and that she wished that, she could go over there and tell them not to do that. And guess what? Now we're going to have Americans over there telling them not. So you might not see as many troubling uniforms in anime from here on out. There's a whole big thing where they were attacking Attack on Titan because it was promoting fascism. We had Tanya the Evil was promoting fascism because they had military uniforms. Just a lot of really wonky bullshit going on. And, Shield Hero. We saw Shield Hero.
I was going to say Shield Hero wouldn't have gotten made if they had been on these committees.
No, Shield Hero is a Crunchyroll thing. Surprisingly enough, it actually is part of Crunchyroll's
and it's crazy good.
It's crazy good and it's crazy popular.
Mm-hmm.
And, we saw the media attacking that too because it was problematic to have a male character accused of, doing inappropriate things with women without their consent, even though he was innocent. Because,
that never happens. Men are always guilty.
Men are always guilty. Guilty. And because of that, people had a huge problem with this. And slave crests and all of this junk. Again, very tame anime. This is a very tame anime.
Very good anime.
It is. 10 years ago, nobody would have batted an eyelash.
I don't even say 10 years ago. 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Even batted an eyelash.
So I gotta wonder if we had certain people on committees with input into this show, how that would have.
Yeah.
How that.
Oh, we know it would have changed everything.
So there are some other things going on with anime too. The chess pieces are being moved on the board, guys. And we've been telling you this for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. Some of you are like...
People were telling us this was happening, and we're like, oh, no, that's ridiculous.
We were very hesitant to run with the, I guess what we call anime gate, or the attack on anime a couple of years ago, because we're like, no, this is ridiculous. But we had animation people coming to us and being like, no, this is what's next. This is what they're
trying to do.
They're trying to make sure that Americans dictate the content coming out of Japan.
We're like, that's laughable. Japan wouldn't go along with that.
Well, guess what? When you need money.
Mm-hmm. Well, the good news is some of these companies aren't going to have much money anymore either, so maybe that'll change.
Yeah, so we're watching what's going to happen with Crunchyroll and Viz and all of these companies. Crunchyroll is, of course, owned by WarnerMedia, Otter Media, right? And we've speculated, and I still think it's probably going to happen, that eventually WarnerMedia, as they are cutting costs, will get rid of Crunchyroll as a separate service and just throw the anime on the HBO Max. Now,
Probably.
HBO Max isn't out yet, but Crunchyroll just got rid of the Viz branding. Viz had a streaming service of their own in Europe. They bought it out.
they got control, and then I didn't know they turned around and took the Viz branding off.
Yeah, it's just happened yesterday. They took the branding off, so now it's Crunchyroll. So now Crunchyroll seems like it's going to be the streaming service, and then Viz is books, unless they're going to name the books Crunchyroll. I don't know. So this is what they're saying from Crunchyroll. Now that we're under the Crunchyroll brand, I'm even more excited to be given the opportunity to lead a very talented team that is uniquely positioned to grow the passion and engagement of anime and manga fans in Europe. So, yeah, I don't know if it's going to be that Viz is printed material and Crunchyroll is all their anime streaming stuff, but they bought and obliterated Viz overseas. Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of obliteration,
I expect Pac-Man to continue.
Pac-Man is going to continue.
I guarantee it.
Waka, 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 waka. Okay, WarnerMedia names Hulu's founding CEO as new chief. This was a sudden appointment. This guy is coming to cut. So, WarnerMedia, they just hired a new CEO, a new chief. This guy is, as I understand it, a merciless cost cutter. Right, Hollywood is burning down, and they just brought this guy in right before HBO Max rolls out.
Right, but we've been hearing this off and on. I mean, we heard it with Disney, brought Chapek and Chapek. Yeah. They're bringing this guy in.
Basically, he's being brought in to clean things up for HBO Max. Again, what we keep hearing is eventually, WarnerMedia is going to take all of their cartoon content basically and smush it under one banner, but they're looking to cut more corners. This guy, his name, ironically enough, is Killer. Or Kalar, sorry, but he's going to be brought in to clean house. I'm wondering...
Kalar and Stanky.
Kalar and Stanky, the Stanky Killer.
The Stanky
Killer. But, he's running...
well, I'm glad they didn't put the red dot on his nose, because that would be really bad. Look at the picture, and they put the peacock logo here with the dots. If they just moved down a little bit more, the red one would have been on his nose.
God.
That would have been very sad.
Yeah, honk. So this is... not really a good sign either, I don't think. I mean, Hollywood's scrambling right now to try to glue itself back together, but the fact that they're just suddenly like, yeah, we got a new chief coming in, his whole goal is going to be, getting HBO Max up and running. I think Crunchyroll, personal opinion, I think Crunchyroll is basically just going to wind up being the anime tab on HBO Max.
Probably. I'm sorry, but I'm going back to this for one more minute. They could have edited this even more funny if they cut it off right here. It would have been cock and then had the red dot on his nose. I'm just saying they could have had a lot more fun with that than they had. Sorry.
Clown cock.
I'm sorry. I was just amused by that because I'm easily entertained, guys.
Somebody probably has that domain, and I'm afraid to look. They're probably clowncock.com.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
We don't want that. We don't want that.
Just imagine what that would be.
All right, so we're, I think, going to wrap this one up. Just keep an eye on the anime industry, guys. Definitely there's some stuff going on over there. Not saying it's all going to be bad, but there has been a pattern of behavior of censorship. And it starts out with a little bit, and then they just keep moving it and moving it and moving it, and the next thing you know, all the characters are going to have shaved heads and blue hair.
That's right.
Actually, most of them have blue hair already.
Well, that's the thing about anime. It already is really diverse. There already are a lot of that quote-unquote agenda things they want to see. They're already there. I mean, that happens all the time. And you know what? No one ever thinks anything of it. Because they just didn't think anything. And then we had the cousins from Sailor Moon, and it was, they were over here were the ones that made them, cousins and not a couple.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, it's existed for years that they have been very diverse and very open to a lot of different people and lifestyles and things. That's nothing new.
I was watching, it came up last night on Prime, on Amazon Prime. They have Project A-ko, which is a really old anime, like 30 years ago. And I didn't catch it when I was a kid because I watched it on VHS when I was a kid. But Biko totally has a crush on Seiko. You've got A-ko, Biko, and Seiko.
Okay.
I guess that's how they just kept track of the characters. But Biko's like totally lusting after Seiko, who's also underage. But I never caught that when I was a kid. I was just like, oh, it's just a bunch of, she's the bad girl and the kids, they're having fun in the spaceships. But now it's like, oh yeah, and this is like 1985, 1986. This has always been a thing. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how anime changes. I think it's going to be basically Western entertainment sensibilities applied to anime. So it's...
We'll have to see.
Whoever's got the money controls the content. That's how it works. So, we're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Okay, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.